can the IRS take your retirement plan? The answer is yes, they can. It's unfortunate, but they can, okay? They can take your nest egg. Now, it's kind of a last resort thing with the IRS. They don't like taking people's retirement plans, but they will if they perceive, it's typically a revenue officer, if the revenue officer perceives that you are just trying to yank them around and they perceive you're kind of being a bad actor here, okay? I've seen it once. I've seen it once in my career, okay? And here's the situation. A client hired us. They owed, I don't know the exact amount, but it was close to like $500,000 to the IRS. They had a revenue officer assigned, okay? We believe that we could have got them into some kind of hardship-based arrangement, like a partial payment installment agreement or something like this. They couldn't get any equity out of their home. They owed a lot on their house. They didn't have great credit. So we thought we were gonna be able to get them in like a PPIA or something. Well, out of the blue, okay, after they had hired us, they received a windfall, right? An inheritance that they had no idea they were gonna get that much money, okay, from this individual who passed away. We're talking, this was like a low 7-figure sum, okay, like a little over $1 million. And these folks were in their 40s. What did they do? So the revenue officer called wind of this, and the revenue officer demanded that they simply pay off their tax debt from this windfall they received. Revenue officer said, I'm not going to accept any other resolution other than a full pay because they've received all this cash, right? Pay the $500,000. They still have their house. They still have a few other assets. They still have, $600,000 left from this inheritance. The only resolution the revenue officer was going to accept was a full pay out of this cash windfall. What did our clients do without telling us? They took a chunk of that cash and paid off their mortgage on their home. And then they took the rest and they put it away into some investment fund, like some real estate limited partnership thing, investment fund, to kind of squirrel it away, right? So that the revenue officer couldn't just levy the bank account for the money, okay? This ticked the revenue officer off. So angry, so mad that yes, the revenue officer went after their IRAs, right? Which was the most liquid source of funds that they had in order to pay off the IRS, okay? So, that's one of those situations where it was just, the taxpayer was frankly being a douche, right? I mean, they had a ton of cash. They didn't need that cash immediately. They could have paid off their debt, and they just refused to. And the IRS did what they had to do.